Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Dan's Veggie Patch. I'm Dan. We're here in the library, which is of course the logical place to stash my plant seeds. Well, it's the end of February and it's about time to get the sowing started for the spring plants. And as a matter of fact, 2 weeks ago, the middle of February, I sowed a tray including radishes and started my eggplants and oregano, a couple other things. We'll take a look later and see how those are progressing right now. My goal here is to just let you know what I'm doing, why I'm doing it, where I'm planting and how I'm planting and what I'm doing it's all for in the first place. So it ought to be fun. Let's go. Okay, a little background on me first before we get started on the planting. I'm not a gardener. I really have rarely ever grown a vegetable garden. This is my first attempt really at it. I may well have bitten off more than I can chew. We'll find out at some point this summer. So you ask, how did I get into doing this? Well, and I'm going to be planting tomatoes here as we go. Last fall I was flipping through YouTube videos and happened to come across a Charles Dowding video. If you're watching this, you're probably familiar with Charles Dowding. Charles in the UK and has been gardening what he calls a no-dig method for, gosh, 30 some years, 35, 36 years. Very successfully. But what he does, instead of what I always thought gardening was getting the shovel out and the hoe and digging and breaking your back and all that. What he does, any piece of land that he starts, he puts down a layer of, say, cardboard to kill anything underneath. You know, no lights coming in, whatever, no weeds are going to come up through it. And on top of that, he puts a good 6 inches compressed compost on. Just like this stuff. And that's what he grows in. So there's no tilling, as he said, no digging, very few weeds coming through. According to him, weeding is no problem at all. Takes very little time. And as I was watching that and started going through more videos, I thought, you know, I can do that. So here I am. So what I'm doing here is getting the, as I said, the tomatoes started. Fill up the seed trays here with compost. And what I'll do is just put the seeds directly in here and water them, and I'll take these inside for, I don't know, probably 6-7 weeks at least. Last frost around here, I'm in zone 7B here in central North Carolina. So our last frost is somewhere towards the middle of April. Right now it's the end of February. February 27th is today. So we'll get these started and throw them inside with the rest of the seeds I've started. Actually, I'm going to do a bunch of herbs. I've got some annual and perennial flowers I'll start today as well, just to get them going. I'm actually going to, well, I have an agreement with a gentleman who runs a local Italian restaurant that I would grow some stuff for him this year. So I've got Romas, tomatoes, I got San Marzanos, I don't know if they'll want those, but I've got the oregano that I mentioned before, got some basil here, onions, eggplant. Let's start with the Romas. And I wish I had something to clean my hands with. But I'm just going to get them out. And, well, come on, there we go. And just put a couple of seeds in each little cell here. If my fingers were nice and clean, this would be a lot easier. Oops, and that one went. That's right. Okay, so actually I have plenty there. San Marzano. Yeah. Not too many seeds in this one for that. That's actually pretty much all of them. So, be a little more careful here. Just put a little compost on top just to cover these up a bit. My garden size is not real big. It's 36 by 44. I've got 7 rows in there. And I've got the cedar posts up, but not the fencing yet. I have it, I just haven't put it up yet. Deer and rabbits are frequent visitors here, so I'm going to try and keep them away from my goodies here. Okay, so I'm going to keep going and put the home safe stuff that we got last year. I was looking for those seeds for a good 5 minutes this afternoon, trying to figure out what we did with them, because my wife and I saved a bunch last fall. And I'm looking around the kitchen, and I couldn't figure out where they were until I just happened to remember I saw the old seed container there. I'm starting with my lettuces, and I've got 6 varieties I'm going to be growing. Black-seeded Simpson, I've got Butter Crunch, I've got Salad Bowl, I've got Paris White Coss, it's romaine lettuce, Red Velvet for a little color in the garden, and I have Green Ice. Plus along with that I'll be growing spinach as well, so I'll be putting these in here. And so let's start with maybe the Simpson here. And that is plant a bunch in one of these, and then let them grow for a couple of weeks, and then prick out and individually plant the strongest ones into the seed trays, as many as I want at that point. So, oh, you guys were ready. These little black seeds are taking forever to get out of here. We're going to throw a little more compost on top of that. Give her another water. And that one's ready. We'll set it aside and do the next one. So that's what I'm going to be doing with the lettuces first and the spinach. So I think what I'm going to do is get you on time lapse here, so I don't have to show that forever and ever and ever. But I'll keep going and get the rest of my stuff, and we will check in the house with everything that I've done. And here's the results of my work today. 4 trays of sown seeds in the window, ready to get warm and eventually germinate. A quick story on the window shelf there. I built that a couple of weeks ago when I did the first tray. And after I finished and put it in place, my wife said, "Oh, hey, it doesn't look as horrible as I thought it would." Up here we got the tomatoes. Next row we got the salad mix, the lettuces and spinach. Plus I threw the bell peppers and zinnias there just because I had room. But I did follow Charles Dowding's advice on lightening the compost there with some vermiculite. Apparently lettuce roots may get a little waterlogged, so I lightened it up with that. Next row I got peas, onions, leeks, cilantro, and cabbages. And below that I got the herbs that I planted, plus some annual and perennial flowers that I'm sowing, or try to sow and see what happens. Now I did put catnip in that mix because of, she's one of 4 here in the house, by the way. Now this bottom tray is what I sowed 2 weeks ago. And over here we got the radishes. They're about ready to go outside. As a matter of fact, they look good. That is oregano. And it's coming up slow, but it's coming up. It looks real good right now. I'll have more than enough. Eggplant here. Cauliflower there. And I probably should have planted I should have sown 2 6-packs of cauliflower. I did just 1. For some reason, I sowed 3 6-packs of Brussels sprouts. Now, I've had Brussels sprouts once, and I couldn't stand them, but I'm told they're good roasted, so we're going to find out. Now, the last 2 6-packs over here are full of, well, nothing, because I forgot to sow anything in there. Well, that does it in Dan's Veggie Patch for now. Hope you liked what you saw. Please consider subscribing, and I'll see you next time. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. And so what have I got? Sticks. That's what I've got. That's a rock. I feel like Charlie Brown. Wrap it. The first time this requires glasses. Glasses down, and off we go. Vanity.